Hey, it's MJ here with Fight Life Media, where we're covering MMA from the ground up. Welcome to another edition of 5 and 5 Sin City Picks. It's the pick show where we give you 5 picks in 5 minutes. Today we're covering Bellator 68. Okay, before we get started, just want to give a special shout out to Aint chemo. If you haven't heard about these guys, they're spreading cancer awareness through the MMA community. They're a charity that's locally homegrown here in Las Vegas. Do a lot of work within the MMA community, supporting kids, teenagers, and adults that are all dealing with cancer. So if you haven't checked them out at itaintchemo.com. Make sure and support them either by donating or buying merchandise. It all goes towards the charity to help those battling cancer. Also go to their Facebook page, like them on Facebook, spread the word. Bellator 67. If you missed Bellator 67, you missed a great card. You had Ryan the Real Deal Ford coming through and knocking out his opponent. He looked great on that card. And what you really missed, though, was Michael Chandler just blasting Akihito Gono. Chandler looked awesome. Gono announced his retirement. If you're missing out on Bellator, you're missing out on a big chunk of mixed martial arts. The event we're doing covering today is Bellator 68. It's coming up May 11th live on MTV2 and on Epix HD. First fight of the night that we're going to cover is Marius versus Joachim Spirit Wolf. This is a rematch. These guys actually went at it once for about 6 seconds. There was a poke in the eye. Now we're finally getting to see the rematch. The fight's going to be contested at welterweight. You got Marius. He's 16-6. This guy's no joke. He's got 12 KOs in his 16 wins against Joachim Spirit Wolf. Joachim's kind of that journeyman guy. He's been around for a long time. He's 9-9. Tough kid. But, he's coming off just one win in his last 6 fights. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. I'm fully expecting that Marius is going to come through in this one. So I got to give the win and the prediction to Marius. Next fight on the card is Carmelo Marrero versus Seth Petrozelli. If you know anything about Seth Petrozelli, other than he's the Kimbo killer, he's got some power in his hands. He's got 12 KOs in his 14 wins. And he's coming off a win over Rico Rodriguez by TKO. This is going to be a catch weight. They're fighting at 230 pounds. His opponent, Carmelo Marrero, been around a long time. He's actually fought in the UFC on several occasions. He's got a loss to Bader. He's also got a loss to Gonzaga, but he does hold a win over Congo. Both these guys are pretty dangerous. I'm going to give the edge to Seth Petrozelli. I think that he's carrying a little bit more momentum. And, with that win over Rico, I got to go with Seth Petrozelli. Third fight on the night that we're going to cover is Marcus Galvão versus Travis Marks. This is the bantamweight tourney semifinal. Both these guys coming off of pretty good fights. Marcos Galvão, he's 11-5. He's just coming off a win over Ed West. Biggest problem with Galvão in my book, he's only finished one guy out of all of his wins. So he's kind of missed a decision. He's definitely a gamer though. He brings it. He's got a pretty well-rounded skill set. His opponent, Travis Marks, on the other hand, is coming off a win over Ueda. He was an underdog in that one. I actually picked Ueda to beat Marks just because he's a solid guy. Travis Marks, kind of his coming out party. He did very well in his Bellator debut. He's coming out of Greg Jackson's camp. I got to give the edge to Travis Marks. And I'm expecting him to go to the bantamweight finale. Last fight of the night, this is the main event. You got Sandro versus Daniel Straus. Marlon has looked really good, man. He's looked really good. He's 22-3. He's just coming off, a 3-fight win streak. His last loss was to the current featherweight champion, Pat Curran. Most people consider Sandro to be a top 10 featherweight. He's really well-rounded, and his opponent in Daniel Straus is 19-4. He also has a loss to Pat Curran back in 2009. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. This is the featherweight final. Whoever wins this fight is going to go on to challenge Pat Curran for the championship. Back to Daniel Straus. He's a grinder. He's an excellent wrestler. In my book, I think Sandro's just going to edge him out. Marlon's got a little bit deeper experience as far as the level of competition he's faced. And I think he's just going to have just that little extra to take this win from Daniel Straus. So I'm expecting Sandro. It's probably going to be a decision, but I'm expecting him to win and then to face Pat Curran. For any of you out there that are going to be in the Las Vegas area on May 11th, Same night as the Bellator card, you might have to DVR or TiVo the Bellator card. We've got some live fights with Sin City Fights over at the South Point Casino starting at 6 o'clock. Gray Maynard's going to be there doing autographs, so you get to see some UFC guys there. A lot of times at these local Vegas events, great action. You see a lot of stars, you see a lot of UFC guys, so if you're interested in seeing some live fights, it's going to be some great amateur action over at the South Point Casino. For additional coverage and exclusive content, make sure and check us out at Fight Life Media, where we're covering MMA from the ground up.